Okay, now I got a joke for you, but I don't have time to do it right now. Are you watching the show? You're watching the show from home? All right, hang on. Hey, you're a Habs fan, right? All right, hang on. Bye. Hey, welcome to Season 2, Episode 42. I decided to lose this. I had the office redone, and I'm pretty comfortable in the office right now, frankly, without the mask. So, Season 2, Episode 42, Niagara 411 Live with Sterry, that would be me. We are fueled by Gales Gas Bars. We are supported, as always, by Performance Heating and Air, Enwick High Speed Internet, and Verge Insurance. Now, I don't even know if I can get this right, but I'm going to try, because you might hear raucous laughter from behind the camera. Now, Kevin Jack of WeeStreem, who does a wonderful job of producing this show, is just a few feet away from me right now. Socially distanced, of course, with the camera. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Oh, is that right?
Owen who?
Owen, right. Owen 4. Yeah, okay. I admit Kevin told me the joke, so I had to give him credit for it. We are at Fiddler's Poorhouse on St. Paul Street in St. Catharines. Come on in. We're going to sit in this lovely open-air window and enjoy an October afternoon for a couple hours, all right? Come on in. Here we go. Oh, you're going in first. I got the whole routine screwed up here today for some reason. Okay. So, a little bit cooler today, but not too bad. It's actually a beautiful day for October the 21st. That's what it is? Yeah, October the 21st? All right, we'll be right back. Hey, just getting wired up for sound here. How you doing? Welcome back into the show. Boy, this is a pleasant day for those of us who sit in what are usually sunny, hot, steamy windows on this program. And this is actually a really comfortable day. For October the 21st, I think our temperatures, well, see, Friday's going to be cooler, as you see in the weather buzz up there. Friday's going to be cooler at about 11 degrees, but I think we're probably, what, Kevin, 13 degrees or something like that right now? Kevin Jack,
17.
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man, this is 17?
Huh?
This is 17 degrees right now.
Yeah.
This is 17 and tomorrow it's only going up to 11?
Yeah, we got a bit of a cold front coming in.
I'm getting the winter jacket out, Lee. I got to bust out the jacket.
It's a beautiful day, which is why we have opened the window here at Fiddler's Poorhouse. And we have one planned guest for the program today. Other than that, it is absolutely wide open and available for you, which is, I think, at these times really, really important. Now, first of all, if you want to participate in the program, you don't have to wait for us to introduce a topic that you want to comment on or be a part of. It's your show. It's called Niagara 411 Live for a reason, and that is the fact that it is all about Niagara. It is all about Niagara information. Hence, for somebody, people that don't quite sometimes get the relationship between numbers and language, say, what's the 411 thing? Well, back in the old days, I don't know even if we still do this or not. 411 is that number you used to pick up your phone, or at home your dial phone, right? And if you wanted information on anything, it was a direct line to your operator. Hello, this is your operator speaking. On the other end of the line, and you did 411, and it was information. Give me the telephone number, if you please, for Fiddler's Poorhouse downtown. Okay, here's that. And then that used to be a free service that was offered by the telephone company. Then they started charging for it. I believe at the time, Kevin, you're probably even too young to remember this. At the time, it was like 25 cents every time you did a 411 call, because they realized, hey, we can charge for this service. Our operators are spending a lot of time answering questions that people could look up for themselves, right? So 411 was simply information. That's what it means. So when you say Niagara 411 Live, it is Niagara, it is information, and it is live. And that's what we do. So if there's something that you want to contribute or you want to say or you want to inform us about, give us information about, fill your boots. That's what we're here for. And you'll see that click Zoom link in the post at the bottom here. That's all you have to do. You can watch it passively as you're doing right now, of course. But instead of maybe sitting there on your keyboard and typing out an anonymous comment, why don't you just click on the link and do it live? And we can have a conversation.
And Lord knows we got a lot of comments after last week's program, and I would encourage any of those people to join us. We'll talk to anybody anytime, so just click the Zoom link.
Exactly. There was a gentleman that commented on the show last week and said, boy, I'd really like to come on and maybe have a say. And it was the only comment I made about the entire episode last week was this, and the fact that don't wait for an invitation. It's always an open invitation. Think of one more logo on the screen that you're looking at right now, and it says welcome. It's a welcome mat, basically, is what we do here. And today is a great day for doing that because we only have one guest coming up a little bit later that's planned. Everything else is up to you. You can dictate the content of the program. If you don't, we have all kinds of stuff going on that we can talk about, thanks to guys like Nick at Niagara 411 and all of you who are contributors to that. Our guest today, by the way, is James Symons. He's from Feulled, and he is the creator and I guess a big force behind the Toolbox Project here in Niagara, which is a great thing that happens here. And we won't go into it now because that's James' job, and he'll be here around 1 o'clock today to fill you in on that. While we're waiting for you to participate in the program, let's review some of the things that have been going on. Some Niagara 411 information, if you will. Now, last night.
Yeah, this was nuts.
What?
This is crazy.
I don't know.
This is last night in the Falls.
So we're in Niagara Falls. Niagara Regional Police Service respond to a report of a fight in the city of Niagara Falls. Kevin, you're going to have to do me a favor today. This is proof that this is live. You're going to have to keep scrolling up a little bit because I am a little obscured from the right-hand side.
Okay, so here it is, 6:25 last night, and the officers are arriving. You said kind of...
It's a kind of the casino district. It's not at the casino, but Stanley Avenue and Robinson Street in Niagara Falls. So here's what happens.
Here, I'll throw that on the screen so people can get an idea of where that is. So there's Stanley. Okay, it's by the Doubletree.
Right.
There's the Wyndham Gardens, and then the casino and everything else right over there. So you're right.
It's the casino district
right there
of the city of Niagara Falls. So a woman falls down or lays down or whatever in front of a car. Now, obviously, the driver of the car stops, shocked, gets out of the car to attend to this fallen person, and a guy comes up and gets into her car. Like, okay. And she was verbally threatened with, he said he had a gun. She didn't see a gun, but said he did. Suspect also tries to strike the driver. The driver and a bystander were eventually able to remove the suspect from the car. The suspect then runs from the area before the officers got there. So a couple of detectives assigned to the investigation. Identity of the male suspect was determined. He was located in St. Catharines a bit later. The suspect was waiting to board a bus to the Toronto area, which one would figure out is his home. So, charged are Shona Alexis Borecki, 34 years of age, from Toronto. Charged with the criminal offenses of robbery with a firearm, obstructing police officer contrary to section blah, 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 and robbery with a firearm, is etc. So there were two of them. There was this Barecki, and then where's the other name?
It's Dimchi Kalazowski.
Kozlowski.
It's right there. I mean, it's a mouthful.
You got a bone up on your European there, Kev. Sorry. So this is a scam. This is like something you'd see in a movie.
Yeah, I never heard of this one before, though, Lee. I'm sure the NRP will probably follow up with a scam alert.
Yeah, and it was a carjacking. First of all, and it was just a regular old sedan. It was nothing special. They weren't trying to jack a Ferrari or anything.
Yeah,
it was
2012 brown.
2012 Malibu. But they wanted or needed the car for whatever reason. So this woman takes a dive in front of the car. Car stops. Driver gets out. Naturally, it's what we would all do to see if this person is all right. Then somebody jumps in to jack the car. Really? Well, be aware, folks, that these things are happening in Niagara. And Kevin, I don't know whether the word interesting or dangerous is the right word, but I'll use interesting. I'll use interesting right now times to be a Niagara Regional Police Service officer. These are stories that they're going to be telling for ages. Can you imagine the paperwork that the officers had to do? Oh my God, we show up and then we do this and we got to do that. They spent probably another 12 hours doing paperwork back at the office.
This is a new one. I never heard of this. So the female just lies down in the road.
Lies down or looks like she falls down or whatever.
But usually you've seen that scam where it's an insurance scam, right? And they throw themselves on the hood and say, you hit me.
Yeah.
But this isn't the case.
This wasn't an insurance thing. It was just a way to steal the car.
The other guy's lurking in the weeds. Like the other guy's literally hiding behind the bushes.
All right, let's talk about another.
Yeah, so the night before,
a related story, non-related, but kind of in the same category. Let's put it this way: youths arrested. Now, I'm sorry, my cousin Vinny always comes in youths. If you ever seen the movie with Joe Pesci, did you say youths? Anyway, 4 youths were arrested with a stolen SUV in Niagara Falls. This is a day later. Officers attended the area. That's the language they always use. Now, this is kind of more in the inner city. Victoria Avenue and Morrison Street in Niagara Falls. They arrive at the scene, and immediately they boxed in this stolen Ford Explorer with their marked cruisers, because the vehicle has been marked as stolen. So the driver attempts to flee, rams a cruiser. Now, you know right about now, your life is taking a turn for the worse. Okay? You have to know this. Driver tries to take off, bangs into the cruiser. In a further attempt to flee, the driver also mounted a curb, knocked over a cement garbage can. That's got to leave a mark. The 4 young persons in the stolen Ford were all subsequently arrested, and here's the thing that is really sad. 3 males, 2 of them 17 years old, 1 of them 16 years old, and a 17-year-old girl, all of them from Hamilton, arrested and charged. Lives pretty much over, kids. Life is a series of choices. How do you feel about that choice?
So here was the area where they tracked him down.
Their parents must be so proud, Kevin.
Right by the library, where the LCBO is on Victoria Ave. That's where Morrison and Victoria intersect. Boy, oh boy. You know, it's easy to be critical, but there you go. There's just 2 nights in the life of NRP police officers. I
want to come back to the cops again from a different angle this time. Something that really ticked me off when it happened. I don't know, what was it, a couple of months ago, Kevin?
Yeah, seems that.
There's a long-standing heritage fish and chip shop on Lake Street in St. Catharines. It's called the Fryin' Guys. It's been there since Christ was a cowboy. And sorry, I did say that, didn't I? Oh well. Keep your cards and letters coming in. Anyway, it's been there a long time. We in the area always just called it Guys. Originally, I even thought there was just a guy named Guy that ran it, but no, it's actually, the name of the business is actually the Fryin' Guys. And some mental midget robbed a fish and chip shop at gunpoint. Now, I can understand somebody in dire straits, perhaps. I don't approve of it, but I can understand somebody that's a little left of center going in to rob a retail business. It happens all the time. But armed robbery of a fish and chip shop in the middle of the day? Maybe a Friday night at 8 o'clock, but in the middle of the day, a fish and chip shop. Well, they caught the guy on October 19th, a couple days ago. Andrew James Windsor, 32 years of age, of St. Catharines, charged with the criminal defenses of, and you can read it, robbery in disguised intent and pointing a firearm and carrying a concealed weapon, and et cetera, et cetera. And of course, he made a real fast getaway on his bike.
I remember, yeah, these are the photos from the original post here, August the 4th. So yeah, it took about 2 months.
You know, he should go to jail for just being stupid. Anyway, I'm glad they got this guy.
There's the getaway vehicle in question right there, Lee.
There's the getaway vehicle, yeah.
A 12 speed or a 10 speed? Wow.
I don't know. Well, apparently he needed a few more speeds. I don't know why. And I realize, to all of the businesses that pay attention to this show and all the retailers and all the people that other people attempt to extort money from or rob or something, I realize that this isn't the only retailer in Niagara that's experienced this kind of thing. But something, just because it's been around so long, maybe because I have a personal relationship, I don't know the guys that own it, sorry, pardon the pun, have no idea who they are. I don't have any personal attachment. It's just that they've been there ever since I can remember. And to walk into a little business like that and traumatize whoever that employee was behind the counter, we're talking PTSD potential here. I mean, we can make fun of it, not of the robbery, but of the guy, but he caused somebody some very, very serious emotional distress that day. And that's what bugs the hell out of me. This little small business selling fish and chips, and this dude comes in with a gun and then makes his getaway with a cup of coffee and a bicycle. I don't know.
In broad daylight, nonetheless.
Yeah. 32-year-old male and a 2-year-old brain. How does that work? All right.
Lee, I'll just remind everybody again that the show is open. We've got James Symons coming on talking about the Toolbox Project around 1 o'clock this afternoon. So lots of opportunities. I put it up there in the posts. Rants, debates, pretty much anything you want to promote. If you want to talk or you just want to chat with Lee, or maybe you like the program.
There was a lot of, or maybe you don't. That's always an option. There was quite a furor of comments in response to last week's program. I won't summarize. I won't go back. But if you were one of our viewers of the show last week and you have anything to say, as we've always said, we're open here, pro, con, otherwise. Click on that Zoom link, like Kevin was saying, and be part of the show. And this is a smooth segue into me thanking our supporters here a lot, because when you're doing a program like this, you're not quite sure week to week what's going to happen. We are unedited. We are uncensored. Some people think that we're under some sort of alien control, but that is not the case. We are not regulated. We are not beholding to any large corporation by any stretch of the imagination. We're just what you see. And what you see is what you get, whether you like it or not. And whether you like it or not, you can participate. And the reason I'm talking about this is the fact that without fail, absolutely without fail, our sponsors have always had our backs. And I can guarantee you that not all of our sponsors agree with everything that we do on the program, but they do agree with the opportunity to talk about things in Niagara from all different perspectives, and that's what this program is about. Gales Gas Bars Limited, Jessica Friesen and her gang, our title sponsor. We refer to it as fueling this program the way they have fueled Niagara. since the middle 1900s. And we look forward to a long and continued healthy relationship with Gales Gas, and we appreciate their support. Also, Carlo and his bunch at Performance Heating and Air, trying to save your family money on heating and air condition related things, because they have families here in Niagara as well. One of the most creative approaches to high-speed internet access is available here in Niagara as well, that being Enwick high-speed internet. Really your solution, be it rural, be it urban. Do you need flexibility because of yes or no contractual agreements? They don't have firm and hard style contracts, etc. A lot of options when it comes to high-speed internet here in Niagara. Mark Shirk, Blake Shirk, and their gang at the Niagara founded, run, and operated Verge Insurance Group also. And these people have been staunch supporters of ours. And sometimes that takes a lot of a backbone, as they say, or grow a pair, and all these other cliches that you hear. Everybody that is associated with this program, without fail, at least so far, have stood up and said, hey, we like what you guys are doing, and we're in. So that's great. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our partners in crime here. WeeStream streaming service, the premier streaming service probably in the country. But if you want to boil it down, we know definitely nobody in Niagara or any in the surrounding area is doing anything like what Kevin, Jack, his partner Brandon Scram. Happy anniversary to Brandon and wife, by the way. What was it, yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday celebrated 9 years.
9 years. Congratulations.
And we've been busy this week. Had a number of city council meetings, including City of St. Catharines and a budget meeting on Tuesday night. We were down in Wainfleet, Port Colborne. We're preparing to live stream some Remembrance Day ceremonies for Port Colborne and the city of Niagara Falls. And on Sunday, I'll be streaming an ordination as somebody gets welcomed into the priesthood.
Really?
Here in St. Catharines. Yeah, up on Niagara Street. So we do a wide variety of different things. And if you've been thinking about reaching a larger audience, or kind of capturing your event, or what have you, get in touch with us at WeeStream. So easy. And all you have to do, if you're watching this now, just drop a comment, say, hey, I want to find out more about WeeStream, and we'll catch up with you. We read all the comments, Lee, good or bad.
Now, Kev, I know your business, as many, many others over the last 18 months to 2 years, had to psychologically as well as logistically retool themselves with regard to the whole COVID reaction and different ways to do business. And I know and this comes we never talked about this, by the way, beforehand, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing an interview here. I know, Kevin, one of the cores of your business, of course, was sporting events and tournaments and things of that nature, which was really cool, because you know as well as I do, everybody, that if there's a slow pitch tournament or a hockey tournament or whatever that brings people in from all different areas, not everybody can travel to watch their family or their kids or whatever it is play sports. So it's hard to stay connected. Well, that's one thing that WeeStream did, bar none, better than anybody else, and that went away because of the whole COVID restriction thing. Do you see things like that slowly inching back? Will you be able to rejuvenate that side of the business, or how do you see that happen?
We will be able to, but they haven't really come back yet. These provincial or national championships where you're taking groups and teams. Now, we're into another school year, into another sports season, so we may see in the spring where we once again start to have provincial championships. But they dried up as soon as COVID showed up. And COVID, if you remember, kind of launched March of 2020. And that is right on the precipice of championship season. I think we did 1 or 2 events for Ontario Volleyball in 2020 before the rest of the calendar was canceled, and nothing's come back. But to give you an idea, sometimes people think like, oh, we do sports. Oh, we've done provincial volleyball championships. For the last 3 or 4 years, WeeStream has provided live streaming coverage down on Ashbridges Bay for the Canadian Beach Volleyball Championships. These are people that go on to compete in the Olympics. We've done provincial football championships. We work for the Canadian military. People may not know this. The Canadian military actually is a way for people to continue to play sports. They have national championships. So we'll go up to CFB Borden, and WeeStream will be stationed there for 2 or 3 days. and they bring in hockey teams, softball teams,
Yeah.
ball hockey teams, people that play squash, volleyball, badminton, and they bring them in from bases all over Canada into Borden, or in some cases, CFP Trenton hadn't been to Petawawa yet, and we live stream for them. So we've done a lot of very significant national provincial championships,
And these
that just haven't come back.
And these kind of events have taken place for years, but the value of being able to share these events. Well, think of a national sports net. Think of TSN or ESPN or any of these the Golf Channel, whatever it is that you want to talk about, that have these massive, expensive crews that travel around to do these different sporting events, and the value that comes from being able to stream these things or to televise these things is amazing. And you can do this with your event. Be it sporting, be it wedding, be it, well, ordinations. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, it was a new one for me too. Got an ordination. I'm like, okay.
That's what this company can do, and I am absolutely thrilled to be one of the little bitty pieces of business that WeeStream does. I just have a blast doing this every week.
Well, thank you, Lee. And you know what? I'll just bring up here some of the work that we do. So this was the Canadian Beach Volleyball Championships, I think 2019.
Oh, sure. Go for the beach volleyball.
These are the national championships. These are international level. In this case, the female. We do the guys as well.
Where was this?
Ashbridges Bay, Toronto. So we are essentially the only company that can go on a beach. We're provided with no internet, no power, and we can do a full multi-cam production with live scoreboards, live commentary, and do all of that at a very reasonable price that fits within Volleyball Canada and OVA budgets.
That is way cool.
Exactly what we do.
And if somebody is sitting back saying, "Well, hey, I can put an iPhone on a tripod," and
you can't do this.
No, you can't do this.
And that's what we do, right? We provide affordable multi-cam live streaming solutions for companies that otherwise couldn't afford it. That's the absolute niche that we fill, and that's how we've been able to forge these partnerships over the years. I just hope that we see this high-level competition of sport return to Canada.
Yeah.
When COVID kind of gets out of the way. I know are you mesmerized right now by what's going on in the screen?
No, not at all. I'm a professional, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. I kick off my shoes that day. Sand beneath my toes on a work day.
Okay. Couple of the things that we wanted to talk about. We were talking about this strange carjacking earlier. Well, there are a couple of good Samaritan positive stories that I guess we can kind of segue into this. Things that could be really on the negative side of the ledger had the good fortune of sliding to the positive side of the ledger. There's a story that popped up on Niagara 4, and this is Niagara 411. Hi, Nick. Hi, Nick's mom, by the way. It was nice to meet you the other week. One of the stories that came up, often we find this, a subscriber or a participant on Niagara 411 will ask for help in identifying someone who came to their aid. They want to thank somebody for helping them out. And these are the stories that renew our faith in human nature when it is possibly at its lowest ebb these days. So Nick says, I received a note from a female who would like to thank an incredible group of folks that helped her yesterday in St. Catharines. Now, I'm going to read from my screen because it's easier for me to read the text, but you can read along. And this was the post. I'd like to thank 4 individuals whose help kept me safe yesterday in a situation that could have turned out very differently. I was walking through Centennial Park when an older gentleman, Dale or Gale, on a blue e-bike scooter stopped me to let me know a man with a 12-inch long knife was ambling toward me further down the path. I called the police as I turned around and walked in the opposite direction from the knife guy, and literally a moment later, a construction truck drove down the path. The driver, Colin, saw the man with the knife and told me to get in the truck, and he drove me to the parking lot as I continued the call with the police operator. A couple in the parking lot that were visiting from Smithville who knew what was going on offered me a ride home. Are you one of these 4 people, or do you know who they are? Many, many thanks to all of you. What an interesting story in the fact that 4 separate people involved in this one incident to help a 5th person perhaps survive a life-altering negative experience happening in Centennial Park in St. Catharines. This is something that you might see in a movie where you had, I can envision it starting out, you're going to tell the story of the guy on the scooter, then you're going to tell the story of the guy in the truck, then you're going to tell the story of the couple from Smithville, then you're going to tell the story of the walker, and then you're going to tell the story of the guy with the knife, and then it all comes together. It just sounds like some sort of interesting film to me.
The most interesting thing to me was the verb that they chose, ambling.
Ambling.
I mean, it's very descriptive. It's straight out of a horror movie, isn't it? You can almost picture it. It's Mike Myers.
Well, whoever wrote this has
Jason,
a great command of the language.
Ambling towards me. It kind of looks like that. The henchman, right? That's kind of limping.
And there's no question that all of the folks on 411 that have commented, etc. They know these people. The guy in the scooter is well known. Apparently, a local who is in that area quite often, and these people are locals that other people know. So to those people, thank you for again supporting human nature, because as I said, we certainly need it these days.
Yeah, but you're right. Lots of people saying. I think they identified the guy in the scooter as Dale.
Yeah,
saying it, yeah, he's
well-known character.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah,
Just everybody saying, "Thank goodness this worked out so well."
What we haven't seen, Kevin, is an update on the person that had the knife, because obviously this wasn't imaginary. Obviously this person exists, and again, the word ambling would suggest. Here we go again. Conjecturing, which we shouldn't do, but unless you've got some sort of a problem, it's unlikely you'd be walking through a park with a very long knife on display.
Now that's Centennial Gardens, which is just down there. City of St. Catharines recently voted to rename that park, so it's going to be renamed after Richard Beardpoint, I believe. So we'll see probably a renaming and a dedication.
Thank you for that little informational nugget.
And what have you. And,
see, there you go, Niagara 411. You'll get information.
And there's a fixture in the downtown core that was involved in a Good Samaritan story.
Perfect segue to this story, too.
And I'm going to miss seeing this face. Everybody knows this guy downtown.
This is a fellow that people know as Zeno or Jimmy. And he has been, as Kevin says, a fixture in the downtown core of St. Catharines for, years, I guess. And the reason that Zeno, Jimmy, is in the news and on 411 this week is a life-changing event for this man has taken place in a really, really positive way. He is off back to 6 Nations with his family and working on life. I just wanted to share this. Fred Bowering put this up. I just wanted to share this with our community, as Zeno has grown on many of us over the years. Best wishes and luck, my friend. Much thanks to Shelby Young. This is a lady I would like to chat with at some point in time, Kevin. Maybe we can track her down, or if somebody knows her that is watching right now, you can ask her to just click onto the show right now, because I'd love to talk with her. Thanks to Shelby Young for making this happen. I'm so proud of you, Zeno. Jimmy, gonna miss seeing you, brother. And there isn't one person that commented on Niagara 411, and I don't know that there's any person alive that has come in contact with this gentle man who doesn't have a positive thing to say. He's somebody that some people might cross the street when they see coming, but that's not who Zeno and Jimmy was. Jan Matheson says, "This is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing this with us. I'm sure I and many would have worried about him if he didn't see him. So many people like Zeno get lost, and we never know what happens, especially when we care for them. Zeno and so many others are a big part of our community. Hugs and kisses. Prayers, Zeno, for a happy and peaceful life with your family. Shauna says, I used to see him all the time. Would always give him money. So happy for him, wishing nothing but the best. Like here's a downtown fixture, like a lamp post, or a bridge, or a storefront. He is a character and a personality that has been a fixture, as Kevin used the word earlier, in downtown St. Catharines for many years. And because of whatever circumstances that we don't know, that I would like to know from Ms. Young, from Shelby Young, as to how did this happen? And apparently he's thankful that it's happened. Apparently it's a really positive thing for him to be reunited with his people and his family and all the rest of it. I would just like to hear the story of how that took place. Maybe we can track that down. If it doesn't happen today by accident, maybe we can do it by design.
Yeah, I'll see if I can reach out to Shauna, but as you mentioned, if anybody knows her, just send her a message. Say, hey, these guys are talking about Jimmy Zeno.
Yeah, Shelby, call these guys.
Yeah, that'd be a great time. Just click on that Zoom link. Lee, everybody's had interactions with Zeno. I'll just throw them up here again. People are just joining the show. Never a bad word. There used to be a guy that would walk around downtown, and I haven't seen him in some time, and as they mentioned, they just disappear, and you kind of wonder. That would hurl profanities at anybody that looked at him sideways.
Well, those people exist everywhere.
And Zeno, Jimmy, I never knew him by name, never had anything but positive things to say to anybody that he came in contact with. Always, peace to you, brother, have a great day, God loves you.
Yeah.
Nothing but positivity out of a guy that...
Absolute salt of the earth.
Yeah, maybe we might look upon and think, boy, that guy's got a lot of things to complain about. And never had anything but a kind word for anybody, and that was echoed Lee 236 comments or something like that, and every single one of them positive.
Yeah, there's like Erica says, fantastic news. Good luck with your new journey, Zeno. I will definitely miss your... I missed the last part. Infectious smile every morning. There you go. All these people that whose lives he affected. I wonder if he's going to miss them. I mean, his life, it looks like it's going to be a little bit easier for him. Thank goodness. Thank people that helped make it happen. But he made so many friends.
You're right. It'd be nice. I mean, if we got in contact with Shelby, I hope that Shelby has a moment to read these comments to Zeno. Say, like, look, like you
look how many people you touched.
Yeah, you touched this many people.
And he has no idea.
No. All the while, he probably didn't think though that he was spreading cheer in a downtown.
Has no idea at all. One of the things that I wanted to mention, speaking of having no idea, ideologies clash these days with resounding effects in this world of COVID. We are expecting yet another announcement sometime soon. I thought it might be today, but I don't get a glimmer of information that tells me it's going to happen today. And this on the heels of our show last week, which delved into, it sort of evolved into a chaotic sort of atmosphere. Because of the great divide that exists in the world of vaccinations for COVID that we live in. And I admitted to Kevin before the program that, frankly, in a moment of clarity, I'm starting to feel a little bit depressed about this. I don't feel good about it. I'm sad. I'm sad these days because of this.
In what way?
I think we'll cure the disease, or we won't cure the disease. The disease in this whole thing is irrelevant because we'll deal with the disease. like we dealt with polio, like we deal with the flu, like we deal with the mumps, like we deal with smallpox, we'll deal with the disease. We have the science to deal with the disease. We'll get over it. What's really emotionally bothering me is the effects on society and the interactions with people that should like each other, should love each other, and should be able to be focused on other things, are focused on the divide. And it's saddening to me. It hit me like a ton of bricks yesterday, and I was thinking about it again on the drive-in. And the reason it's saddening to me is I feel helpless about it, because we're not changing each other's minds. We're not finding common ground. We are apart, and we're going to stay apart. It's happening in my own family. There are members of my own family that don't agree, and it causes pain. And that's a pain that goes beyond disease. It's 2021. We'll fix the disease. Will we fix the social angst that we have and the divide that it's creating between people and the sources of information, and who do we believe and how do you believe it, and can people just lie and get away with it because they keep repeating the lie? Is it the Trump syndrome personified that we're dealing with here? It doesn't matter what the truth is, as long as you say it often enough, people will believe it. On either side. Saddens me. It does. It truly, truly does. We are expecting another announcement coming out sometime soon about Ontario businesses like restaurants and gyms and their capacity levels. And I watched the Raptors game last night. We got 19. I think capacity at a hockey game is higher than a Raptors game, just because of how the seating works out, but it's still between 19 and 20,000 people. That's capacity when the Raptors took on the Wizards. And raging, jubilant fans, and it was wonderful to see. And yeah, hoo-ha, the world is saved, everything's over, it's back to Raptorland, yahoo, we back. Fiddler's Poorhouse has to operate at 50% capacity to have a burger. Huh? Come on.
Lee, tomorrow night you can be looking for my smiling face in the crowd at the Scotiabank Arena, or whatever they call the thing now. Yeah, I'm going to see Leaf Sharks tomorrow night.
Nice. Is that where you got the haircut?
No, it was just getting too long.
I know you're wearing a hat, but
yeah, no.
Look at the, turn around. Look at the back of this. This is precision stuff. Look at that.
Oh, it's nicely.
You got tan lines you got to work on, but you know.
Today's not going to help much with that. Got some rain falling right now downtown St. Catharines.
All right, let's lighten the mood a little bit. We over the last couple of weeks, we have snakes been featured. We have another snake story for you. This is the video of the week. Lincoln County Humane Society is on the job. You're going to see Todd, who safely captured a snake at a gas station near the shelter today in St. Catharines. I would not want this guy's job for anything. I hope they pay these people a lot of money. I get a feeling they don't, but I hope they do. So there's like the propane tank thing.
They got just a grabber? That's what he's got, a grabber?
Yeah.
My kid's got a couple of those.
Just grabs a guy out. This is a snake and a half he had there. Look at this. Curled up because it was a little cold. Where did he come from, though? I want the snake story. I need to know the snake story. Where did he come from? He didn't just wander in off the pond. You know. Once again, somebody had a pet, probably, and he either got loose or they let him go or something like that.
Now here's the $1 million question, Lee. What gas station's that? I got to guess.
That's what I was trying to figure out myself. I watched it over and over again. So
It looks to me like the one that's right across from Brock University.
Yeah.
Right on Merrittville Highway there as you're heading south. You know, just beyond Brock on the east side.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking.
Off Glen Ridge area?
No, further south, like beyond Brock, heading towards Welland.
Oh, the other way.
Yeah. You know where the old Doms used to be up there?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking, but I could be way wrong. If somebody knows, click on the Zoom link, come on the show, and set us straight.
The thing that I found the most interesting in this post that came up on Niagara 411 is how many people were sympathetic to the snake.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about...
poor thing, being out in the cold. Hopefully he's going to have a nice... I mean, most people have this... I don't think most people really want to be up close and personal with a snake.
Not on that size.
No. But they're interesting creatures. And I found it even more interesting that so many of the comments were sympathetic to this animal for being probably scared or disoriented or something. I know snakes don't think like humans think, so, it's sort of hard to figure out what he was thinking at the time. But certainly crawled into a space where it felt safe and sheltered. And being under display of propane exchange tanks can't be feeling like a natural habitat for the snake. So he was probably hiding under there to feel safe.
Yeah, so everybody, you're right, saying...
Yeah, all these comments. And of course, kudos to Todd, the Humane Society guy that came and so easily and nonchalantly grabbed this fella out from underneath the display.
Yeah, Lee,
yes,
so
Kevin.
We encourage anybody to come join the program, and of course you always can just by clicking the Zoom link. Phil Gladman has joined us from Welland, so I'll bring him on the show.
Phil, hi.
Hi, Lee. How are you today?
I'm good, man. How are you? How can we help you?
You know what? Crazy as always, and it's not me that really needs the help today. If you guys don't mind the opportunity for a shameless plug,
absolutely.
I'd like to speak about a really great local community organization, started off grassroots, and they're really making some headway here in Welland, Ontario.
Go for it.
It's called Beyond the Streets Welland.
Okay.
If anybody's watching, you're from Welland or even the Niagara region, this grassroots local group has been setting up Thursday nights at the Welland Farmers Market. I believe it's 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. And they have been putting together meals, clothing, and even just personal support for anybody who's on the street and in need of help. If anybody is curious, interested, or really looking to get involved in their community, I urge anyone to go check it out in person tonight, check out their page on Facebook, and give them a shout. They're really, really saving lives in person.
Beyond the Streets Welland. How did this get started, Phil?
Good question. I believe the hearts of some beautiful women and some beautiful men who have seen the heartache on the streets, the people that are going without. They opened their doors at their place of business on East Main in Welland, and that was the start of it. They opened up their doors to anybody in need. They put up a table, and they started doing a soup night.
Okay.
And since then, it's grown, and anybody who's interested, there's been businesses donating a meal every Thursday. There's been local organizations all gathering together to pitch in and really make a difference.
Wow.
If you're one of those people looking to make a difference, check it out.
Give us the points again. Give us the stats on where, when, and how again, just in case it went by people too fast.
So the best example to check out, Beyond the Streets Welland, a community organization that is helping those in need on the street. And tonight there will be a lineup from 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. A lineup of people in need who are expecting or hoping to see the beautiful faces of all the volunteers that make up Beyond the Streets Welland.
And what do they do? What will happen at this event?
So what they do at the farmers market, and this is with permission from the city of Welland, is they utilize the market stalls to set up different stations. So for example, there's a grandmother and her granddaughter. They come and they bring different sweaters, hats, gloves, coats, socks, even toiletries. And another table will have boxed food. The next table will have canned food. And there's a stationery setup for anybody looking to utilize some personal hygiene items. But most importantly, everybody's in need right now. And if you want to get involved, if you want to pitch in, you'll be really inspired to see what happens, what Beyond the Streets Welland goes out to do every Thursday night in Welland. And I know there's many other groups in all cities across Niagara. Thank you guys so much for allowing this plug for Beyond the Streets Welland.
These are the kinds of plugs that fuel our concept of this show, Phil, and that's what this is all about. I'm so glad that you came on board today, and I'm assuming if we do the old googly giggle and Google Beyond the Streets Welland, that we'll be able to click on whatever information we need if we want to just read about it some more, correct?
If you Google Beyond the Streets Welland, you can see what they're doing, but not only that, you can find out how your help would be needed most. Thanks so much, Lee.
Hey,
Kevin, all the best in your day, guys. Thanks for a great show.
Before you take off, Phil,
don't go yet.
Just mesmerized by your hat. Is that an official Rex Hotel hat?
Oh, Kevin knows what's up. You got it.
I've never seen one of those before.
I haven't.
You got to be well.
This is a vintage one out of the basement from Bruno Caracetta.
That's Welland royalty right there to have one of those.
Oh, I have so many stories I could tell but shouldn't about the Rex when I was younger.
Best chicken parm in the universe.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When I was going to Niagara College, I was of legal age, by the way, but when I was going to Niagara College, which of course is on Woodlawn Road in Welland, my instructors and a few of us, that's when teachers could fraternize or professors could fraternize when students, after class, we spent many an interesting hour at the Rex. Fond memories. Phil, awesome to have you here. Good luck to everybody involved with Beyond the Streets Welland, and please come back and talk to us again and keep us posted on how the project's going, okay?
Absolutely will do. Going to jump back into work, and you know what, in the Niagara region, I'm really hoping tonight the Niagara Region Council will actually approve a state of emergency regarding mental health, affordable housing, and addiction crisis that we're seeing on our streets. So something else to look forward to tonight, but I can't wait to be in touch with you guys again.
Thank you, man.
Have a great day.
Back to work. You've made our show. Thanks very much.
All the best. Cheers.
I could not think of a better poster child for what this show's all about than that.
Yep, 1,000%. It's exactly what we're looking for.
Good stuff. Thank you, Phil.
Because we don't know about all this stuff. I didn't know Beyond the Streets Welland was a thing. I'm somewhat familiar with some of what Phil does just through social media, but I didn't know about Beyond the Streets Welland. Seems like really grassroots, and seems like they're helping out a lot of people.
We have 12 municipalities in the region of Niagara. Each one of those municipalities has a governance structure. Then you add on top of that, by governance I mean councillors and mayors and whatever. Then you add on top of that the monolith, that's the wrong word, the monster, I guess, that is the region. And I didn't mean monster in a bad way, I mean it's just a big thing. Then you get the region on top of that, which has its own governance that attempts to, in theory, coordinate synergies with all of those municipalities. It's like that old expression, herding cats. There is absolutely no way that we can try to know everything that is going on in all of these municipalities, let alone the region as a whole. And that's why it's so important that you help us do what Phil just did and let people know of the good things that are happening. Sometimes they're not good things. You can let us know about those too. But I mean, Waynfleet, Fort Erie, Port Colborne, Welland, Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, Grimsby, Beamsville, the whole Lincoln field, Niagara on the Lake. It's hard, virtually impossible, for us to be able to keep anybody informed about everything, good, bad, or indifferent, that is happening in these communities. And that's truly the concept behind this program at its very inception. So for Phil coming on to be our sort of poster child for content on the program, that's just great for him to take time off from his job to do that. And Kevin, for you to get a bead on the hat, I was trying to actually from a distance, I was trying to figure out what the logo on the cap was myself. And then when you said the Rex, it just sort of all came back to me.
Is that? And the thing is, he took it off as though it would draw attention away, and it absolutely did. I'm like, is that a Rex Hotel hat?
Well, he was being polite. He was doffing his... which leads me also to acknowledge Beau Chapeau Hat Shop in Niagara on the Lake. This particular chapeau is the Bailey light felt fedora. It is water resistant. It is foldable, believe it or not, and it can come back to its pristine original shape. This is the second hat that I purchased from Beau Chapeau, and I think it's one of my favorites. It's just I bought it to keep the snowflakes off my balding head originally a couple of years ago. But anyway, Beau Chapeau Hat Shop at any given moment in time in Niagara on the Lake on Queen Street. 10,000 head coverings can be perused there. They do restoration of vintage hats as well. Great place. So to Kevin Neufeld and his gang at Beau Chapeau, it's a pleasure to be a customer. So, and to our other sponsors, let's do this again. Gales Gas Bars Limited fuels this program without a question, without fail, every week. And to Jessica Friesen, thank you so much. She has become quite the, and this is just nothing that we were paid to do at all. This is just a tip of the Beau Chapeau to Jessica, who's become really quite entrepreneur Renaissance woman in Niagara. She is now a published author. Her book, This Will Not Beat Me or Defeat Me, about her battle with postpartum depressions being quite successful. She has a number of other kudos and honors to her credit, and is truly growing into one of the most pivotal positive forces in Niagara here. So tip of the hat to Jessica and her entire gang at Gales Gas Bars. Performance Heating and Air, another local Niagara company. As you can, I guess, figure out by now, we are focused on things Niagara. Performance Heating and Air, Carlo and his gang, attempting every day to save you and your family money because they have families here too. Enwick High-Speed Internet. I don't think there's another community that I'm aware of, Kevin, that has a service like this, a service of its kind when it comes to access internet. Scott and the crew there, rural, urban, no contracts involved, and as you are aware, it's a lot better than it used to be back in the old dial-up days, but there are still issues with access to internet depending on your location. Enwick can solve those if you have them. So check them out. And a Verge Insurance Group, be it home, be it auto, be it personal, whatever. Verge Insurance Group, again, another Niagara company born and bred here in St. Catharines. So to Mark and all the gang at the Verge Insurance Group, again, thank you for your undying support. WeeStream, Kevin Jack, as well as Brandon Scram. Brandon and his wife celebrating their anniversary yesterday. 9 years.
Yeah, 9 years. Congratulations,
Well,
Brandon.
they say
and
the
Julie.
first 10 are the toughest.
And little Nathan, yep, almost through the hurdle. Lee, while we wait, James, and I'm just, I'm trading some text messages back and forth, just trying to make sure that he gets on the program today. Pretty easy to do so. The Zoom link's there. Just click on it like Phil did. You can come on the show and promote something, rant about something, talk about whatever it is that you want to talk, Niagara or not. One of our former colleagues, and we'll get to this after James, but people that may not know is both Lee and I have an extensive background in mainstream media, both working
Oh, yes, the cursed media.
out of the White House down the road at 610 for a number of years. And a former colleague of ours, Chris Biggs, of the Biggs and Bar Show.
Ah, yes.
So the Biggs and Bar guys took their act up to Ottawa probably about 3 years ago now. And great guys, top to bottom. And Chris, a lot of people don't know what Chris is like off the air, and he's a salt of the earth kind of guy. He's got time for everybody. He's a what they would call a big teddy bear, right? I mean, he's probably
Big
6'5",
man.
6'6". I mean, his name is Chris Biggs, but he's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's also raising
And a wonderful
wife,
man, too.
Yeah, he and his wife are raising their son, who is, and I don't know where he falls on the spectrum
Of autism.
but for quite some
Yeah.
time was nonverbal, and I've known his son since he was about 6 or 7 years old, albeit not in a friendship kind of way, just through Chris. And Chris put up a post yesterday that I thought was I shared it actually on my Facebook page because I thought it was really valuable information for parents that are raising children, whether they fall on the spectrum or not.
I gave it a like and I haven't shared it, but I intend to because I watched it and I had the same response, Kevin, that you did because yes, he's a media guy. Yes, he's paid to be able to speak well, but in this particular case, so well said that there's no way we could repeat it and do it nearly as well. So we're going to bring you Chris Biggs and
you know what? Do you want to just do it now? I'm getting some messages here from
let's do it now.
From James. He's just working on getting on his end. So,
let's do
here we
it
go.
now.
So there's Chris.
That was the post that Kevin put up, my pal Chris Biggs. And can you scroll down just a little bit? And Chris says, I get this question a lot and just got asked again, so I figured I'd answer this way and maybe help some others too. So we'll just turn it over to Chris right now.
You just DM me a question that I get pretty often, so I figured I would just make a post about it. And plus, I didn't want to tag the person in it just in case they didn't want their business out there. But it was about this fella just found out his son has autism, 2.5, just got diagnosed, and he just asked me for advice. I get this question a lot, so I figure I would just answer it this way. The problem with giving advice for children with autism is they're all very different. Like it depends where they land on the spectrum, if they're verbal, if they're nonverbal, do they have behaviors, are they active, are they not active, a lot of different things. But there's a few basic things. The first is get help as quickly as you can. Get them in programs, apply for all the funding, get the tax breaks so you can pay for some of the funding until you get the government money, if you even get it. So that's it. Enroll them in absolutely everything in your area you possibly can. Get as much help as you can from your family and all that. So that's number one. Number two, for me, the most important thing with my son was connecting with him, meeting him on his playing field. Like he was really active and loved to run and jump, so I would run and jump. He liked to play in water, so I would play in the water with him. Anything I could do to connect with this handsome fella. Hey, buddy. And we're best friends. So that was important to me. I don't care if he can spell the word alligator. Like, we'll get there when we get there. For me, it was about him having human relationships and connection. And then the last piece of advice that I got pretty young in his childhood was, it was told to me in a story. And the story is, imagine you planned a trip to Italy. And you're really excited about this trip, and you had researched all the sites in Italy and all the great food and places to see. And so you get on the plane and you get off the plane and you're in Japan, and you're upset. Like you don't know what to do. You don't know anything about Japan. You thought you were going to Italy. You're very confused. But when you start walking around Japan, you notice how beautiful a country it is, and how much culture and great food and history and all the wonderful things. So I guess the point is sort of lose all sort of expectations, aspirations you had as a father. Those are yours. They're not theirs. And I guess this is good advice for any young parent, but especially if you have a kid with autism, because it's not going to be like, I was a huge jock, so I expected, so looking forward to coaching my kid or watching him excel in sports, and he has zero interest in sports. So I mean, as soon as you sort of accept and celebrate who your son or daughter is, the easier it is. And it's wonderful, man. Like, sure, we have challenges, and sure, it's really difficult, a lot of it is, but he's the best, like literally the best. And I mean, that's really all I can tell you, man. And I hope it helped. Thanks.
I'm sure you did help, Chris, and thank you. Some great points of personal experience in it. And it is, I've seen so many conversations and interviews with parents that are involved in this spectrum world. And the point that Chris makes off the top is truly the thing that makes this probably the most complicated, is that it's not one thing. It's such a bag of hammers depending on where your family member falls, where your child falls, and what, like how highly you're functioning, and like all the different nuances of that are incredible. So good to see you again, Chris. Thanks for posting that video. Great job.
Yeah, I think it will help out a lot of people.
I think it will too. Just that little bit of advice, like get help, get it fast. That's the thing that, and the other thing is, get rid of all of your internal expectations of what you think your child is supposed to be. Your child is what it is, what he or she is. And that was the most impactful thing, I think.
It was for me.
Yeah. Be what your child is, not what you expected them to be.
Yep. It's great insight from a guy who he doesn't even have a rough exterior, but I think people think a morning show jock at a rock and roll station.
Yeah, and he's a big sports guy.
Yeah.
You know.
And listen, we got James lined up, and James, I know you can hear me here. Can you turn your phone like 90 degrees for us, or whatever device it is? Because right now I've got you on a side angle. Can you rotate it for me? Oh gosh, I don't know. Don't know what to do here, James. Like here, I'll show you what we're dealing with here.
Okay.
Oh, you just. Now you're turning the camera back and forth there, James. Like, see, there's James right there. We can't have a conversation like this.
You're sideways.
Hey, you're sideways, right?
I'm going to try from my computer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. What are you talking to us on right now, James?
A Samsung phone.
And what happens when you
turn the phone?
What happens when you just turn the phone, like rotate the phone?
That
yeah,
better?
like that. Oh, do it two more times. Right now you're upside down.
2 more times. Yay! Almost.
All right, yeah. All right,
Right
there you
there.
are. That's. Oh
Now?
no! Try it again. Try it again.
Hold the phone further away from you.
No, try it just halfway. Oh, don't stop. No, go back.
Right there.
Stop halfway. There, stop.
Right there.
There we go.
We got you.
Sorry, guys.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good, James.
That's okay. We now have you. We can
Thank you, everyone.
actually look you in the eye. You can move the phone a little. You can move the phone a little further away from you.
Yeah,
That
we
better?
go.
There.
Hey, James.
Awesome.
Thank you, Lee.
Okay, so now that we got the technical thing worked out, James Symons is from Feulled and creator of the Toolbox Project. First of all, I'm not going to ask you any other question other than to say, tell us about the Toolbox Project. What is it?
We are in our 5th campaign this year. We started in 2017. I was frustrated, and growing up with great family values, I was always told to turn a negative into a positive. I've seen a lot of support going on for the females experiencing homelessness and poverty, from the Shoebox and Purse Project and the Pajama Project. Great projects, but there was nothing for the men. I called Suffrage Shelter and I said, what would a male receive on Christmas morning? The ladies are receiving 3 packages. And she's like, nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. So I hung up the phone, went to social media, asked my friends, I'm like, would you support a care package for homeless men if I put one together? Like, whatever you do, we'll get behind you. Discussed the name with my brother. We came up with Toolbox because men can relate to tools for job, for life. And we said, okay, let's do 25 care packages, winter accessories, 2 pair of socks. Socks for change also helps us. Hygiene items, snacks, something fun like a crossword to take the mind off things. We had a goal the first year of 25, we did 360. Since then, we've grown every year. This is our 5th campaign. Ted Bolt and Bolt Realty have become our main sponsor for this year, our presenting sponsor. Very excited about this year, but also sad as there is more need and more visibility of homelessness downtown.
Right. How many of these toolboxes are distributed now?
This year last year we did about 500. We're probably looking about 500 to 700 this year.
Wow. And you started with what, 25 or something, did you say?
25 was our original goal, to see if people would respond, see if there was an actual need. And we did 360 that year. It was absolutely amazing. The city of St. Catharines, Kevin, Jack, himself, everyone's gotten behind it. I'm very thankful for the community.
How are these men identified? I'm certainly, you work with organizations that identify who receives these things?
We will donate to Suffrage Shelter, Starting Up Niagara, Dream Center when they're doing outreach, various groups that do outreach, Open Arms in Welland, Hope Center in Welland, a few of the food banks, and ourselves, we have gone out and delivered the actual toolboxes.
So when are these actually delivered and distributed, James?
We deliver them the week before Christmas.
Great. So I'm assuming that means that here we are on October the 21st, that people can help contribute to this. How do we do that? What do you need from us?
November 4th is our official launch at Bolt Realty from 6 to 8. There will be bins there for 4 weeks. There will be bins in Thorold, various places. People can reach out to me on Facebook. We have a realtor challenge right now with Bolt Realty. We're looking at a realtor to challenge Bolt. We're going to have 2 weeks where see who can get the most items. I mean, someone will be declared the winner, but really it's the homeless that are declared the winner, because 2-week challenge. Realtors are very competitive, so see who can get the most in 2 weeks. We're looking for another realtor to participate. Bolt participated the last couple of years, so.
And now, this event, where is it? You said it's at Bolt Realty. What's the location?
November 4th on Secord Drive, 18 Secord Drive at 6 to 8. It's our kickoff. People can donate items that night, collect a bin to collect items, meet the Toolbox team, learn about Toolbox.
That's Secord Drive in St. Catharines, just off Lake.
That's correct, yep.
Okay, that's awesome. And people can contribute items, or is it cash you're looking for?
They can donate items. We accept monetary donations. Checks can be written out, and we can provide a tax receipt as well.
November the 4th. That's not too many days away. Okay. You must have a lot of volunteers that put these things together as well.
I have an amazing team. My dad helps with delivery. A great team that's been with me since the beginning. That helps with assembly, getting the items. My co-workers have been great with assembly. Well, one co-worker, she has an elf shop, she calls it. Her basement, we get the items and she just puts them in bags, and then we go out and deliver. We've had an amazing group of people around us to support us.
So now, James, if you've struck a chord with somebody that's watching this afternoon, and irrespective of whether they donate items or cash or whatever, they just want to help volunteer, have you got room for more people if they just want to help you guys out?
We're always looking for people. December 5th at 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at 131 Richmond Street in Thorold, the TCAG, we're having a community assembly night. Some people are unable to financially give or don't have items to give, but the community afternoon, it's fun. We provide snacks, drinks, and we just assemble. It's quite awesome. We play Christmas music, and we did the first year we did 50 bags in 30 minutes, so it was pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool. Now, you said you had a Facebook page. What do we search to find
Toolbox Niagara.
Toolbox Niagara.
Toolbox Niagara.
Very simple.
It's hard to find it here, James. Let me throw it up.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty. So this is year 5, and you've gone from 25 toolboxes to almost 600. You expect this year. Congratulations! Kudos to all of you, and to the folks at Bolt Realty and as well for doing all this. Now, will you make me a promise that you'll come back and keep us posted? Come back in time to remind us about the December 5th event that you've got coming up.
Will.
And
a great job with the community on helping the Indigenous individual. He was always so happy, and it was so nice to see him, but nice to see him getting help.
You're talking about Zeno, right? And Jimmy, I saw you posted about that.
Yeah, he was just beautiful. He would say hi and smile, and his smile just caught your eyes. And that's one of the reasons why I delivered the toolbox, is just to help individuals. Brief story. Second year delivering toolboxes, someone said you can't just drop them off at the shelter. You gotta see the individuals. You gotta see what their story is. I gave a box to an individual, and he was about maybe 55, and he started crying, and he gave me a hug. I said, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I'm not okay." I said, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I don't want to talk about it." And then he's like, "Can I have another hug?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Well, as you can see, I'm homeless, and you can see I'm an older gentleman. That's the first gift I've received in my whole entire life. He got his whole life with no gift, so the toolbox was his first gift."
Wow. Touching story. Sad and happy all at the same time. James, thank you so much for what you do, what you've done and continue to do, and don't be a stranger. Stay in touch with us, okay?
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Kevin, we are so blessed, those of us, even though, everybody has stress and challenges in their lives and things of that nature. We all do. But when you hear some of these stories, man, I feel blessed that for the things that I enjoy and feel thankful for. And there, but for the grace of God, go all of us. And I don't mean that in a religious sense. I mean, we can fall into a pile of crap and come out with a pony, or you fall into the pile of crap and you stay there. It's just the way life goes.
Yeah, I'll agree. I've known James for probably 10 years now.
Yeah.
And he's a remarkable guy, and a guy that I've got a lot of respect for. A lot of people sit idle on their hands with their free time, and that's not what James does.
I was just thinking that, these people make a lot of us feel really like underperformers. Here's a guy that wakes up in the morning and sees one day 5 years ago or so, and sees different organizations helping out a segment of our society and says, "That's great, that's really good, but what about them?" As opposed to, we would wake up, perhaps say, "That's really great that somebody's doing that." But he took it a step further and said, "Well, that's all well and good, but what about these guys over here?" And then goes even a step further and does something about it. Those are truly special people.
That's the important step, right? It's
that's
going
the
that
step.
extra
Do
step.
something.
It's so easy to sit on the sidelines and criticize or say, "Hey, you're helping these people, but why aren't you helping them?"
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to step up and I'm going to help them.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll support that.
I remember a story that involved me, and it was from managing a business, and I would sit in my office, and the whole open door policy, and someone would come in and "Can I talk to you for a second?" I say, "Yeah, sure, come on in, sit down." And this person would say, "You know what we ought to do?" And then fill in the blank. And really what they were trying to say to me is, "You know what you should do," right? They were taking the monkey off their back, putting it on mine, and said, you know what we should do? In other words, you know what you should do? Well, people like James, and then what I would say is, that's a great idea. You come back to me with a plan and how you're going to make that happen, and I'm in. And then I never hear from them again.
Yeah, I got taught that lesson real early on. Must be management style 101.
Management 101. Yeah.
Because I got thrown right under that bus, and I learned my lesson real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I think would be great if we had this or this or event? That's great, Kevin. I think you should organize that.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you mean you're not going to do it? No. But guys like James instead walk into life and say, here's what I would like to do. And that's a whole different approach to moving forward with business, with society, with relationships, with everything. And guys like James Symons are very, very few and far between. People, not just guys, women, men, people, everybody. There are quite a number of them, but there aren't enough, and it makes those of us that are outside that a little bit uncomfortable, because these people are doing amazing things.
Absolutely. Echo that 100%. Lee, I'm just showing people the outside. We got about 9 minutes left on the show.
Yeah.
Let people know musically, John Lavoie, who is a St. Catharines guy, he approached me about 6-8 months ago, getting some of his music on the show, because we always feature a local music video by a local artist at the end of the program.
Yeah.
At the time, he didn't have a music video put together. Well, he just put out a post recently called This Town, and he's from St. Catharines, so it's all about St. Catharines, and shows a lot of St. Catharines landmarks.
That's great.
And Niagara landmarks in the video, so that's coming up. Just wanted to show people that it's raining, it's a little windy, it's a little dreary downtown.
You can hear over the microphones, no doubt, of the sloppy sounds of the traffic going by.
But I don't know if there's another one or two things you wanted to touch on here before we kind of return to this.
I only want to mention the fact that Kevin's story about Joe Lavoie coming on is an indicator that we do like to source out Niagara talent, and if you've got something for us to enjoy from visually as well as orally, by all means let us know, and we'd love to feature your music on the program as we have someone play us off the stage every week. I want to thank Gales Gaspars again for being our title sponsor and fueling this program without complaint, and always supportive, as well as Performance Heating and Air, High Speed Internet, Enwick, Verge Insurance Group. I want to thank Phil Goodman for taking time out of his workday to tell us about Beyond the Streets Welland. Google it, and just a great group we found out about today. James Symons, of course, from the Toolbox Project, and Kevin Jack of WeeStreem. As always, it's a pleasure working with you, my friend. We'll do it again next week. And I guess we'll just, yes, thank you to Fiddler's Poorhouse for once again letting us inconvenience your staff and your business to sit here in your beautiful open-air window on St. Paul Street. Nick at Niagara 411, thank you very much. This has been Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. That's me. Thanks for being here. We'll do it in a week. Cheers.
It's on This Town.
Driving past places that I once was more not a fool, and I've been seeing you. Boy in the window, making trains go round, hands up to the glass, no trouble past. So much pain wrapped up in this town. Drive down this road I've been before. Gas to the floor, leaving this town. Gas to the floor, leaving this town. is no time for going back. Sky will glide far from this place until the city's miles away from here. Gas will flow in this town. Gas to flow in this town. I'm leaving this town. I'll be nowhere around. I'm leaving this town. I'll be nowhere around. I've seen the world past the highway sign. I know there's no turning back. These tides have to blow. Boy in the window, make it sad as it may. There is no trace, but at last we're free. The windshield is the sky and city lights. There's places left behind. All this world, road ahead. Gas to the floor in this town. Gas to the floor in this town. I'm leaving this town. I've been nowhere around. I'm leaving this town. I've been nowhere around. I'm leaving this town. I've been nowhere around. I'm leaving this town. Thanks for being.
It was a good show, yeah.